This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
What an entertaining press conference it really was. Now, Frank Smith, of course, he stepped in to replace Eddie Hearn, who would usually do these kind of things because Eddie Hearn is over there in America for the final HBO show for his man Daniel Jacobs, who's going to be fighting Derevchenko this weekend as well as. So obviously he can't be in two places at once. He had to make a choice, world title event or this one here. But this event is so much better. So I think Eddie's made a bit of a mistake on this one, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Frank Smith did a good job on this one. He did. It's a totally different style to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is much more kind of like outgoing, I suppose, on the mic, and of course he's used to it, whereas Frank isn't, but Frank did a very good job, so big up to him on that one. Now, the whole event, now bearing in mind, the main event is Ryder versus Sirotkin, okay, but the whole thing is now all about Ted Cheeseman versus Asinia Byfield. The whole thing is about that one, and a lot of people were looking forward to that fight more than any other one, even before this press conference. If you watch this press conference, which by the way, I'll put the link in the description box for you all, so you can go have a little check of it yourself if you haven't watched it. But this one should be the main event. Cheeseman versus Byfield should be the main event. These two were going at it, literally going at it verbally. Byfield was doing what we knew Byfield was going to do. He was going to go up there and give it the talk and goad him. And Ted, who's usually pretty relaxed, he bit back, and it was great, absolutely great. And by the way, if you look a little bit closely on Ted Cheeseman's shirt there, yep, you will see Sporting Icons. Yes, we are the official sponsor of Ted Cheeseman. And there will be others to be announced real soon as all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, all that kind of good stuff. So this fight is one to look forward to. As I said, this one should be the main event. Now, Byfield, I'm not too sure quite what he was getting at. I think he was just coming out with random things just to goad Cheeseman. And Byfield sold it very well. He really did. Ted Cheeseman was going back at him saying, look, you know, you need to sort your damn grill out. You look like you're a former crack addict with the way that you're dressed, all this kind of thing. So very good banter from Ted Cheeseman. He held his own very well. If anything, I'll probably say he probably won the verbal battle on that one. A lot of it was about who's beating the better opposition and how their styles are and who's the better guy and this, that and the other. Now, Byfield is a very awkward fighter, okay? He will hit you from range, and with both hands he switches from southpaw to orthodox, and he constantly moves. He will come forward, of course, as well. He's not just a back-footed fighter, but not the biggest puncher in the world, although you probably couldn't say that if you watched him versus Samuel McNess. Now, Cheeseman was saying, and he's right in what he says, that I've beaten better opposition than what you have. Both these guys have 14 wins. Byfield does have one loss on his record, which he lost on points. And so from that point of view, he's absolutely correct. But I think that Byfield is awkward, no doubt about it. He's very awkward. But Ted Cheeseman, I expect him to have a very cool head in the ring, because the talking is going to stop, okay? And it's all about two men in the ring who's going to perform the best. But I think that Ted Cheeseman, he's going to hold the centre of the ring. That's what I think he needs to do, is hold the centre of the ring and let Byfield come to him. Let him run around if necessary, because that's what Byfield's going to want to do. He's going to want to try and tag Cheeseman to see if Cheeseman has the chin that a lot of people suspect that he does have, which is a very good, strong chin. But of course, Byfield's going to be hoping for the complete opposite, right? Catch him like he did with Samuel McNess, where he caught him, and Maness just lost all capabilities. He had no game plan. He didn't know what to do, and he gassed very quickly. So Byfield was able to take over for the next 2 or 3 rounds. It did take him 2 or 3 rounds to get rid of him after that one, by the way. But Ted Cheeseman, he has been in there with like Carson Jones and others who, in my opinion, are better than anybody that Byfield has beaten. There is potentially a exception with Samuel McNess, because Samuel McNess is one of these kind of guys where a lot of people thought that he could go on and achieve great things, and he still might. So we don't know. It may have just been one of these nights, but no matter what, this is a fight to look forward to. Now, will it live up to the hype? Who knows? There was quite a bit of hype with Coley and Chamberlain, of course, and the fight stunk the place out. But this one, Ted, he's not one of these kind of guys who's going to just sit back. He's not going to make it a boring fight. I mean, you don't see boring fights with Ted Cheeseman. He comes forward and he can fight on the back foot. He takes a few shots, needlessly sometimes, but I think because he just likes to fight is what he likes to do. But in this one, I think we may see a more technical Ted Cheeseman. That's just my opinion, of course. And Ted is going to go for the knockout. I'm sure of it. He's going to do what he can to not only steal the rounds, of course. Well, I say steal them, but win the rounds. But catch him, pin him down, and just unload on him. But Byfield does have a very good engine on him, so I think it's going to take quite a few rounds for Byfield to start to slow down a bit. And the best way to do it is to take away the power, as in the energy, from Byfield, and that would be to crack him to the ribs. But anyway, this press conference was lit. It really was lit. I don't think people and the headlines on Sky Sports, at Matchroom, on IFL TV, I'm sure that these guys are going to have video footage coming out later on as well, that it's all going to be about Cheeseman versus Byfield. Bearing in mind, the undercard is very good as well, and the headline as well, Ryder versus Sirotkin, is a very good fight, and I was very, very impressed with Sirotkin's, his manager or something like that. He was funny. He said that he had some kind of issues with the visa. And he said, you know, just because we're Russian doesn't mean we're going to bring any kind of thing into the country. In other words, hinting about some past things where spies or whatever have been poisoned, shall we say, by chemicals or whatever. So he did say that. He got like a bit of a laugh. When Byfield was up there, he stood up and had a selfie with Byfield. And so his manager, Sirotkin's manager, was pretty cool. I like him. Unfortunately, Sirotkin didn't speak English, and I kind of didn't quite understand what his translator was saying. Well, I said I didn't understand. It's because the sound wasn't that great. That's all it was. But I think that's going to be a good fight. It is going to be a good fight, but it's certainly not the headliner for what people want to see now. It really isn't. But you know what? Let's go back down the undercard. Luke Watkins versus Isaac Chamberlain. Of course, these guys both lost their last fights, both of them against Lawrence Coley. Luke Watkins got stopped by Coley, but he did come forward. He didn't throw enough punches, in my opinion, but you know, at least he kind of gave it a go. Isaac Chamberlain, after the first round of the horrible start for him, he went defensively. He kept looking to his corner, didn't know what to do. His corner didn't know what to do either. Hence the reason why he's probably changed his whole team around now. But this is second chance saloon for both these guys. Whoever wins this one can look forward to the next 12 months of potentially big fights and meaningful fights. The loser is totally rock bottom, rebuilding, of course. But, well, I say rock bottom, it's unfair because both of them do have a pretty good name now. So it is rebuilding. They're going to have to strategically choose their next couple of opponents. That is how it's going to be for the loser. But very, very good. Isaac Chamberlain said that he predicts he's going to knock out Watkins. Watkins seemed to take a little bit of offence to that based on the fact that Isaac Chamberlain not the biggest puncher in the world, and he's not the biggest puncher in the world, but Luke Watkins is a very big puncher when he lands. Against Coley, he didn't really throw the punches, or maybe he felt he couldn't, but against Isaac Chamberlain, Chamberlain's going to have to really frustrate him and make it awkward for Watkins to try and land himself. But if Watkins lands, it could well be over because Watkins is a very, very big puncher. But Isaac Chamberlain, very, very skilled when he's got his head on. And it's a very, very interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. It's cruiserweight, of course. The cruiserweight division is starting to really become alive now. It really is here in the UK and, of course, across the world with the Boxing Super Series as well. Felix Cash on the card. Very, very good. Can't wait for that one. Doyle is on the card. I mean, the whole card is very, very good. And, of course, all that's going to be shown on Sky Sports. I believe it's 7 PM start, I think it is. So check out that one. Obviously, the first few fights on that card, which won't be on Sky Sports. So the fights before 7 o'clock will be on Sky Sports YouTube channel, I believe. And then the rest will be as is. And, of course, you guys over there in America, you need to watch this one because a lot of these guys on this card could be big names in the future. So it's good to kind of like get to know them, because I know a lot of people are kind of complaining about the Rocky Fielding and Canelo thing with the fact that they don't know who Rocky Fielding is. That's because you haven't had this kind of exposure before to the up-and-coming British fighters. Rocky Fielding is a very, very good fighter, by the way. So now's the time, if you guys got DAZN, to watch these kind of fighters so you know about these guys in the future. So when they step up against some of the American guys, for example, then you kind of know who they are. You can break down the fight yourself and come up with a conclusion as to who's going to win based on what it is that you're seeing. Because obviously you know your stateside guys, but not necessarily the UK guys. But now you will if you watch this kind of card. But anyway, excellent stuff. Ted Cheeseman and Asinia Byfield stole the headlines. Stole the headlines. Both of them gave it the verbals. Very, very entertaining to watch. I like this kind of thing. I like a bit of beef, shall we say, especially on the weekend. And excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Hopefully the fight lives up to what it's going to be. But even if it doesn't, listen, it is what it is. But I think this fight is going to be a pretty good one to watch. Both of these guys are going to want to win. Neither of these guys are here for the payday. They want to win. Of course, he's got the British super welterweight title on the line as well as, and obviously the winner can then look forward to defending that belt, of course, maybe against a Anthony Fowler, Scott Fitzgerald, and so on, or maybe move on to European and then ultimately world level within the next year or so. So who knows? But this is a fantastic build-up for these guys. These guys just stole the entire show. Nobody's going to be talking about the rest of the card, even though the rest of the card is very, very good. But Ted Cheeseman and Asinia Byfield, excellent. Absolutely excellent. So anyway, go watch that press conference, especially that bit there. You're going to enjoy it. It's very, very good. So anyway, drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.